So I'm sitting in the sun. It's Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. And I've decided to make an extreme sacrifice on behalf of all of my neighbors who may be uh, still susceptible to the pandemic. And how would I put it? I'm doing the best I can to make sure none of them catch it from me if I have it. So I know also in the future we're going to change the rules a little bit so people can go back to work and things can go back to sort of normal. But I'm positive that at some point in the future it will be mandatory for the people in my area to be wearing masks, maybe every time they go outside or when they're in close proximity to other people, such as a shopping market or any other place, like a grocery store or any other kind of store that might exist. It might be important for people to be wearing masks when they do go back to work. Some people will be that will be the form of isolation that will replace the 6 feet in a work environment so people can go back to work. So on behalf of all of those people who are standing on the front line at the hospitals, on behalf of those people that will be going back to work, and on behalf of our society in general, I'm making the extreme sacrifice of shaving my beard. Oh, hurts. I'm not sure where this little lever's supposed to go. There it is, that feels better. So, I'm going to take my beard off. And show you how I do it. Now, it's gotten pretty long. It's been about 4 months now. Already looking better. It's already actually feeling better. I spent my entire life, most of my life, in an office. I shouldn't say that. My career was in an office, and I shaved every day, not with a simple razor like this, but I would shave with a a straight razor, like a Gillette or something like that. It was never a science to me. It was all about just taking this crap off. And I was pretty efficient. But now, when I let it grow like this, if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I shave about, in fact, my channel's got 400 videos, and about four of them, maybe 5, I'm showing you how I shave. It's almost become a tradition. And this being Easter Sunday is kind of like starting the spring with a cleanup, spring renewal. So I can, when I'm having to wear a mask, the mask will actually do something positive. It doesn't do much when you can't seal the mask. So the beard would stop the mask from sealing properly. And I'm quite sure that we're not going to be back to a real normal for about 2 years. But new regulations will come in that will allow people to go to work and still allow us to manage this pandemic. It seems to me kind of comical. When I say comical, it's tragic, actually. It's a tragedy. We have a virus that's never been seen by man before. It has never infected a man before, or a woman. So we don't have any information on it. We don't know anything about it. And people are, people are looking at it in many different ways, but maybe I should explain how I look at it. We have something new we have to learn about. And during that process, all of these different countries, everybody is running an experiment. The experiment is, if we stay home, will we slow the virus down? Well, basically that's pretty much common sense. If you don't give the virus a place to go, it's not going to go anywhere. So it can't infect people it doesn't come in contact with. That looks pretty weird, like a what do you call it? A kung fu kind of weird part. Anyway, so if we don't give the virus a place to go, it simply will die out in theory. But we know it won't completely die out. It'll still be there in sort of a dormant state. Or look at all the hair. It'll be there in a dormant state, or whatever that might be, whatever you would call it, but it will come back. If we all go back to the normal way, coughing on each other and never washing our hands, then it will come back, and we will, through this period of experimentation, know how to deal with it, know how to stop it in its tracks. And people will become more and more, what would you call it? The word isn't obedient. They'll more and more cooperative, because they'll be seeing that the results make it worthwhile. So it seems to me that many people are out there expecting doctors and the pandemic experts to exactly know how to stop this from happening. Well, they kind of do. The way to mitigate and minimize it is to study and test and test and study and test and test and study and test and test until a vaccine comes along. And because they're running these tests like we are in a petri dish, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm quite happy to be the test subject, because every one of us, by being a test subject, saves many, many lives. I don't know if this is kind of interesting. I'm looking at myself in the camera and actually being able to trim it reasonably well. I don't know what I've got left to do. Anyway, so many people think, oh, there's a lot of these people, I don't know who they are. I mean, I've seen them on Facebook. Remember, in Facebook, I have a lot of young model friends and people that are into health, and they've been studying things like vaccinations and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of anti-vaxxers and a lot of people who are simply some of the people think this is a conspiracy that is run by the world's elite to make some more money somehow, or to control us to a much greater extent. It's interesting because Apple and Google, I think it's Apple and Google, have each agreed to build an app together, I guess, meaning they'll use the same database, that will enable us to walk down the street with our phone on, and through Bluetooth, it'll tell us if we've come in contact with or been near somebody who later becomes tested positive for COVID. Now, that would mean that everybody you walk by, you and everybody you walk by, get a record of you walking by them, being within so many feet, 6 feet or something. Now, that might be a helpful kind of thing, but it's clearly pretty scary for the phone companies to know exactly where you are all the time and who you're hanging out with. So, this little razor, in that short a time, has taken this stuff down to the point where if I find a mask, which is pretty hard to find, I mean, I have to figure out where to go and find one. And on Sunday, there'll be there's no close hardware store, so I can't even find like a painter's mask, I don't think. But I'm thinking I'll be wearing a mask one day. Anyway, how do I look without a mask? Sort of back to normal. Anyhow, that'll be my video for today, just me shaving and talking. But keep in mind, you know, that at least from my perspective, we're in the middle of an experiment, and we're inside that experiment in the petri dish. They're not taking any chances, like, you know, dropping us off the table or killing us in any way. Their whole concept is to take portions of that petri dish, like a city like Vancouver. What happens if you tell people to stay home? Does that drop the number? Yeah, in our city or in our province, it has. When they decide to go back to normal, or, you know, the medical professionals say we should go back to something like normal. I had this down there trying to photograph my falling hair, and it looks like it stopped. I don't know if I have any video of that or not. By the way, I am using a Jackery outdoors. This was given to me by my friend, and it certainly works awesome. I'm like, I could buy some extension cords because of where I'm parked, or just basically I could have done this on the grass outside of my bus. But this looked like a great spot. It's kind of quiet. There's a guy over here doing some exercises or some what do you call it, yoga type stuff. Then there's a bunch of people walking by, and I'm not being bothered. Anyway, this is just the whole idea that I'm making a supreme sacrifice is just a joke, by the way. There's no sacrifice at all. I've been playing with my beard for a bunch of days, wondering, this is like a COVID net. It's like a net to suck in more of the virus. But in fact, I read that it's not necessarily a source of the virus. It's not going to actually catch it and hold it so that I, you know, play with my beard, rub my nose, and then I catch it. The likelihood of that is pretty small. But certainly it would be a source of other germs and other things. So it's probably healthier for me to have a beard gone. But, you know, you guys who keep telling me to take my mustache off, thumbs down. If you had a no lip for a top lip, which probably wasn't the case when I was younger, but, you know, I do stuff like this, so I've actually over the years created no lip. So I'm not really self-conscious about it, because I honestly don't care too much about how I look. But when I do look in the mirror, I feel better about myself when I have a mustache. And I've had it since I've been 20, just about. There is probably, I didn't have it for maybe 5 years in all that time. And then I grew it back again, and, you know, it's simply comfortable for me. So anyway, if you've watched this silly little video about me doing my grooming my mustache, then you get a thumbs up. If you liked this video, maybe because of the content or whatever it is that I said, then give it a thumbs up. And I'll try to make videos that are a little less about just sitting here and yapping, and with more editing, etc., and some music. But at this point today, all I wanted to do is get my mustache off. This afternoon I'm going to go off and do some laundry. Then I'm probably going to do one more shop tonight or tomorrow morning and head out of town, head out of Dodge and go live by a stream or a lake or something like that. So that's it for today. Happy Easter Sunday, and I hope you're all staying safe and keeping everyone else safe. Stay home, and or get in your car and drive for a drive and sit at the beach in your car, whatever you may need to do in order to keep others safe. But just getting in your car and going for a drive is some way to get rid of the boredom, that's for sure. That's what I do sometimes. I'm sitting there and bored, I just turn it on, drive off to some other place, and if I'm in that bored state, if I've got that mentality, it may go away if I get to another location, but most likely it'll just remain there. So have a great day. Happy Easter. See you tomorrow, hopefully.